I have been working in the relations of text and image for a while now. Developing a piece based on a Roberson Davies novel was very meaningful to me. Canada has been my home for a while now. I've been living here for 13 years, almost 13 years. And I wanted to work based on a novel that would be or that is in the imaginary of Canadians. The Stone in the Snowball is an installation based on the first scene of The Fifth Business by Roberson Davies. And in this scene, there's a boy who throws a snowball to another kid who kneels down, and for this reason, the snowball accidentally hits a pregnant woman. What we read is the development of events from the perspective of the boy who kneeled and who, for this reason, takes responsibility from now on the way in which the events developed.
I'm quite intrigued by this piece because it appears to be a hybrid between a book. It's a fold-out accordion display with a video element. My name is David Liss. I'm a curator here in Toronto, also an artist. I'm currently an adjunct curator at the Museum of Contemporary Art Toronto and a programmer and curator at Arsenal Toronto. This is Stone in the Snowball. So it brings together two mediums that we wouldn't often associate with each other.
Okay, well, my name is Ximena Berecochea and I'm the director of YYZ Artist Outlet. We're a non-profit artist-run center here in downtown Toronto, and we're very happy to host the work of Ximena Berecochea. This piece has been a great success for us in that it's located in our window space, which is highly visible from the courtyard and from the hallway.
And it's also presented in the window, so there's an intimacy to it. It is a book scale object, really, with this tale that unfolds inspired by Roberson Davies' iconic Canadian novel, The Fifth Business.
Davies was greatly interested in Jungian psychology, and for this piece I take from Jung's notion or concept of synchronicity, which is so powerful in the novel. By this I mean how events may not be always related by a link of cause and effect, but rather by their importance. Life is not a series of random events, but more precisely an expression of a deeper order.
Basically, we specialize in creating animated content, but for these projection mapping techniques. What we love is that you get a chance, no matter how big or small, you get a chance to tell stories with light, which is super interesting, and it has like a quality to transform the space. Ximena invited me to participate in this project about a very interesting story that she wanted to tell with using her photographs and projection mapping techniques, so it was really interesting.
I decided to use digital mapping, first of all because I've always been interested in different ways of representation and how each form has its own particularities and ways of communicating.
Working on this project has been super interesting, changing the format from an architectural point of view to a very intimate, more really close kind of storytelling.
The video figures move across the page in a very, I think it's a cinematic experience as well. So once again, you have this contrast between mediums. You know, a book presented as a cinematic experience. I think there's a really, and also given the scale of it, I think there's an almost, it's poetic, it's almost magical too. It feels like a fairy tale.
Ximena was really inspired by the work of Hieronymus Bosch, trying to find like, because there's like a certain part of, you could say, like a feeling of nonsense or frustration or something that this cycle that you can't stop and you can't really do anything about it. No, so there's people stuck in these never-ending cycles, and we wanted to explore that and play with these silhouettes that will be doing these loops of actions that some of them had sense with the story, but some others not, and that's for the viewer to find out, like, see who do you relate to what each one is telling. So it was really interesting from that point of view as well.
In my installation, I delve into how things happen and how they are connected one to the other.
Of course, we always imagine that we can control our experiences, but we even know through art, through dreams, and through our lives that really it's all about how we move and negotiate and the actions that we take. And there is some, laws, if you will, of cause and effect. And there are unseen forces that help to shape and define who we are.
There were certain limitations with this kind of project. The space was very limited. The resolution that we had to work with was very limited, so that's why in our research we had to work with really defined shapes. At the same time, these kind of limitations also like the way where things can work best, no?
The work has been highly liked. The people have remarked about the images and the sense of wonder that animation provides to the narrative. There is a childcare center in the building, and it's been quite a hit with the young kids in the center as well. They've come around often and they stay in the window space as long as possible, just looking at the images, looking at the birds flying, looking at the birds taking the women away and the little people away into the sky. I think people of all ages really appreciate the sense of magic and this sense of whimsy in the work.
And so I think the work is about, I think for the artist, it's about how part of the construction of her identity now that she is, well, still transitioning, or now that she's been living in Canada.